Good afternoon and welcome. My name is Tim Ward. It's a pleasure to welcome you live wherever you might be across the globe for what promises to be an incredible event. It is, of course, the 2020 Red Bull Rubik's World Cup Finals. My name is Tim Ward. It's a pleasure to be here. And wherever you might be, I said good morning, but actually it might be good afternoon, it might be good evening, it might be really early, but thank you for joining us. Now, this is going to be pretty epic to say the least. If practice and prelims are anything to go by, let me tell you, 2,000 people started off on this knockout competition journey, and we've managed to whittle it down over the course of 2 months to just 14 competitors, all vying for their share of $30,000. Now, joining me, holding my hand, taking us all through the proceedings is he's a stalwart of the speed cubing community. He's also a 33-time world record holder and a fan of Jos Verstappen. Please go crazy. It's only Mr. Erik Akkersdijk. Erik, how are you, man?
Hey man, good to see you. I couldn't be more excited, and I'm ready to see some world-class speed cubing on this 40th anniversary of the Rubik's Cube.
Mate, there you go, 40 years of age. That is good, isn't it? We'll get more into that a little bit later on as we go on, but let's talk competition today. 4 different game modes, 4 different types of battles, and we'll be kicking things off very shortly with fastest hand.
Yeah, that's right. So fastest hand is solving the Rubik's Cube. Well, basically you put one hand in your pocket, you hold your cube with your other hand, and solve it with that one. So you can only use one hand for fastest hand.
There we go. The next event that we'll be taking part in, I say we, they, it is of course Re-scramble, which is it's a bit of a different event, isn't it?
Yeah, this is really a Red Bull special, you could say. So if you solve the cube normally, you would match up the colors, but for this one, we give you a picture of a cube, and you have to match your cube to match this picture.
Okay, and the final event then that they'll be battling with, or the final 2 events I should say, will be speed cubing.
Yeah, that's right. So we have a speed cubing female track in which our best women compete, and we have also the mixed track in which also the women could compete, but unfortunately our fastest girl, Juliette, she got knocked out in the quarterfinals, but we'll still see her today in 2 other game modes.
Yeah, there's been quite a little bit of gossip going on, some big stories going on with the prelims and the round of 16, but we'll get into more of that later on. Now, this is a virtual contest, everybody battling online. It's the first time it's ever happened solely online. It's using a brand new cube. This is the Rubik's Connected. It only came out in August. Talk us through how using this cube is going to be different for the guys compared to what they're used to using, and actually how this game is going to play out online. How will the times differ from what we see in, say, the World Championships?
Yeah, so these digital cubes, they have Bluetooth. Everything is better with Bluetooth. They have some nice sensors in it with which you can track every single move. So if you would open your app on your phone, you could actually see every single move that you do with this cube. You can start a little bit faster because you don't really have to pick up the cube. The timer runs as soon as you start turning. But then again, the techniques, the technology hasn't been developed very far, so the cubes are a little bit heavier to turn. So let's see if those 2 factors balance each other out.
Okay, now we're down to just 14 cubers. Yesterday we had the prelims a little bit earlier on. We had the round of 16 and the quarterfinals. What news have you got for us? There's been a pretty big story, hasn't there?
Yeah, there has actually, we have 2 big stories. So our favorite for fastest hand, Max Park, our current world champion also for one-handed, and our defending, or actually not anymore defending World Cup title holder. He got knocked out quite soon for fastest hand, but he will of course still be in speedcubing mixed. And for speedcubing mixed, actually our world champion, Philip Wire, has also been knocked out quite early, but he will still be seen next up in fastest hand.
Okay. Well, we'll get into more of who's competing, where and when, but it is worth noting we are still left with 14 of the fastest cubers joining us live from all over the globe, from their bedrooms, their front rooms, wherever they might be. Let's take a look at the world map and just gauge exactly where we'll be tuning into. Look at this. Australia, India, Russia, Canada, the US, you've got Mexico, Argentina, the UK, my homeland. I'm actually down in Austria, Europe, there in Germany. I mean, a truly global competition. And actually, as far as the speed cubing community goes, you are all friends, aren't you? You all get on, and it is it's a global community, but it's still quite a tight-knit community, isn't it?
Yeah, that's right. So cubing really connects people, and it's also great to be able to travel the world to meet your friends. Unfortunately, this is not possible at the moment, but through these digital cubes, it's still possible to meet up online and move the party to an online atmosphere.
Okay, well, really looking forward to getting stuck in. But before we do, I'm going to address the elephant in the room, and that's, can I solve a cube? Now, a month ago, I never even owned one of these. My mum and dad had one, I think, on a shelf somewhere that remained unsolved for about 33 years. And I was given one with the task of learning it for today. Can I indeed solve the cube? Can I learn to solve the cube in a month? Well, I decided to document it on my little GoPro, and here's the video. Hello, it's the 1st of October, which means I've got just over a month to solve this. I was asked if I'd like to be a part of the Rubik's Cube World Finals. I was like, what? You want me to compete? No problem, I said. I can do the Rubik's Cube. I can't do it. I can't do it. I totally can't do it. Not yet, anyway, because the Rubik's Connected is going to help me learn. Now, it's what, October the 1st, so I've got about a month to learn it. At least I'm going to have this down by then. I know what you're thinking. You're thinking he doesn't know what he's doing. Well, let me tell you. Oh! There's the white cross. Now we can just fill that in very easily. All you do is you spin that around. Ha-ha! Look at that! Less than a minute to rock out the white face. That's pretty good, isn't it? Hello. Monday, the 19th of October. Where are we at, I hear you ask? Da-da-da-da. Not complete, but the white face is done and the bottom two on all the others. I can get to there on my own now without the app, but I've got to basically learn the next bit, and I actually think this is the hardest bit. I'm trying to get as much practice in as I can. To be honest, I think I'm getting worse. Does kind of feel like I'm back at school. I'm going to use all my skill to try and decipher as best I can this cube. Will he do it, I hear you ask? Well, let's press start and see how we get on. Wish me luck. And that's it. There we go. That's as far as I can get. Will I get it done by November the 7th? Watch this space. Just a bit more practice, I think. I can get the yellow face now. But I just can't get these edges. Ah! I think it's time to try and unveil all the skills. So we've got a totally random brick here. Wish me luck. Yes! Yes! Yes, yes, yes. I'm not mixing it up ever again. So I was desperately trying to solve the scrambled cube then during that video, and I just couldn't do it in time. But I've well and truly fallen in love with this puzzle. It's incredible, isn't it? Why didn't you tell me about this sooner?
Yeah, they really should have put in a warning on it. Warning, addictive, and it really is addictive. So I saw you practicing earlier during the rehearsals. So did you have a new personal best for me?
Mate, I'm not joking, and you're gonna think that I'm lying now. But I've got it down to 2 minutes. 2 minutes and 2 seconds is my new PB.
No way!
Yeah, that's pretty good, right? I mean, you did just beat me before we came on air. You were blindfolded, you gave me a 2-minute head start, and you still beat me. So I've got a lot of work to do. But no, I've thoroughly fallen in love with this thing. And like you said, it's been around since the 1980s. It's the brainchild of Hungarian inventor Erno Rubik. And we caught up with him for a little Zoom chat last week, all about the beloved Rubik's Cube.
Hard to define what the cubit is, really. It's important, or is something that it is approved that right now, after more than 40 years, we are speaking about it. So timing and to survive time, that's one of the shows the strength of something, an idea or a piece of art or something. So if people are speaking about something what happened or was created 50 or 100 years ago, that shows the quality of the thing. In that sense, I believe they will be speaking about the cube in the next century as well. This only looks so simple. It is not very simple. It is really very complicated. It's very complex, I can say. Complication and complexity sounds very similar, but it's very different. Complication is something that we would like to avoid. Complication is problems and what make difficulties. Complexity is a richness of potential, and the word of the cube is that. If we have a target, we need to go there. So it's not happened at once. Sometimes it's aching, sometimes it's boring, sometimes it's not so interesting. But without hard work, you don't get a result. You need to learn that lesson from the cube.
Complexity is a richness of potential. What an amazing turn of phrase that is. Right, well, that's enough of the chat. I think it's time to get straight into the action. It's time for the first of tonight's events. It is the fastest hand. Okay. Here we go then, fastest hand. First semi-final. We've got, joining us live from Canada, we've got Bill Wang, and joining us live from Germany, we've got Philipp Weyer. Now, what's involved in fastest hand? What is it all about?
So, because you can only use one of your hands, it's of course way more important to turn in an efficient manner. And fun fact about this, most people actually use their left hand, even though they're right-handed.
That's unbelievable, that. You told me that earlier on, but I can't quite get my head around it. Why is that?
Actually, it's because of laziness. So if you would solve a cube with both of your hands, mostly you would try to use as many right and up turns as you could possibly do, because those are the best for your hands. And if you would have to do that with your right hand, only solving one cube, you would usually use left and up turns. That means you have to mirror every trick that you know in your head, and that is a little bit too hard for most people, so they're actually quite lazy and just do it with their left hand.
There we go, learn something new every day. Right, let's take a look at the semi-final brackets then. Let's see how our semi-finalists got to be where they are. So here we go then. The first of the semi-finals will see Bill Wang versus Philipp Weyer, and you can see the paths that they've done there to get through to where they are. Any surprises there for you, Eric?
Well, so Bill won against Sripat, which is not very noticeable normally, but Sripat was actually the one who knocked out Max Park in the first round that he played. But Bill beat him by 2-0. And then we have Philipp, who had to beat Felix in the previous round. It was a really close battle. I was the judge there. And at 1-1, it was match point for both of them. Felix actually dropped his cube. I think Philipp would have won that battle nevertheless, but yeah, that might have played a very mental role maybe for Felix in his upcoming battle for speedcubing mixed.
All right. Well, I think we can now get them live, get the cubers live and see if they're ready. Here we go then. Semi-finals number 1. Here we go. Right then. Bill Wang on your left, Philipp Weyer there. You can see. And Eric, just talk us through this then. How's this going to go down?
Yeah, so both of the players are getting into a room within the app, and once this is the case, they will get a scramble. So that is just a set of moves they get to scramble up their cube, as they are doing right now. And you will see that they actually get the exact same pattern. So if they are ready, yeah, it looks like they are. You can see that they actually have exactly the same pattern. And then it's 15 seconds of inspection, so they can plan the first few moves. And then it's off they go. So let's see how they go. Philip always solves on white, while Bill is color neutral. Bill chose to solve on orange in this one. But Philip looks to be ahead, and ooh, that is a close one.
Oh.
Ooh.
Really
Wow, that's
close.
quite the battle to start with. 11 seconds for Philip.
Okay.
So let's see some statistics here. You can actually see the different steps that they take to solve the cube, starting off with the cross, which Philip took 2 seconds to solve. And I will guide you through the other steps after the upcoming battles. He took 63 turns. That's quite, that's an average amount of moves, I guess. So in this game mode, it's best of 3. That means Philip is actually already on match point. Match point, yeah, maybe his nurse will play a role here, or maybe Bill can come back. Bill, who qualified by finishing 3rd on the digital qualifiers, actually the very first digital qualifiers that we held. And Philip actually qualified by finishing 2nd for fastest hand last year in Moscow. He was on the podium twice there, I think. Or maybe I'm wrong, I'm not really sure. So Philip, of course, is the current world champion for solving the Rubik's Cube normally for the WSA. Let's see what they can do here. Looks like Bill is actually starting on green. Already at his last algorithm. And Bill takes this one with 12.99.
There we go.
1-1.
So, Bill, getting it done there. Forcing
There we
it to
go.
the
Oh,
third
you
and
could
final match.
Yeah, so you could see that Bill was very efficient in solving his cross and his first 2 pairs. So they were not really different steps, but he could merge them together. And that was probably quite efficient because he only used 57 moves, which is a little bit on the low side, which is good. So like I said, solving it with one hand really requires to use as few moves as possible because it's not as easy as it is to turn.
I mean, it's just, if you're new to this, if you've never seen anything like this, it's ridiculous. One hand, left-handed solving when they're all right-handed, getting the solve done in 11 seconds there or roundabouts. So 3rd and final matchup then, here we go. This will decide who advances through to the final.
So thumb is up, both are scrambling. There is a slight advantage if you scramble really fast, because you would have 1 or 2 seconds more to inspect. Let's see what there is on this scramble. There is a few blocks there that Bill might be able to take advantage of. Let's see what he does. He solves on white as well, just as Philip. There we go, both at last layer. Ooh! Wow, that was a really close one. I wonder what Bill's time was, but Philip is our first finalist here. And he wins with a time of 13.80, which is not really a really great time, but it's good enough in this case to secure his final spot here.
Well, there you go.
Wow.
It is just about winning those battles and getting past your fellow man or woman. And there you go. Philip Via has done it then. He is our first finalist advancing from semi-final number 1. Oh, it's good. This is good. Right. Back ready.
Very excited. Of course, Bill will be back for the battle for 3rd place later. But first, there's the 2nd semi-finals. And that will be between Juliette Sebastien and Andrei Che from Russia. So Juliette is from France. She actually has qualified for 2 of the game modes to be in the semi-finals, just as Bill. They are only both 2 players that have managed this. And Andrei, he's a really fast one-handed cuber from Russia. He really specialized in this event. Juliette is actually really fast at solving with two hands as well. She's actually the current European record holder with a time of 4.44 seconds. Oof. And she's also the European record holder for solving it with one hand with 10.17 seconds on average.
Wow. Okay.
So we'll see what she can do with these digital cubes. Maybe they are a little bit harder to turn because of the weight. We're currently waiting until they are getting into the rooms. So as most people know, Juliette is one of the fastest, if not the fastest female cuber. She was the winner of the female track last year. And Andre, he actually made these semifinals by beating none other than Michał Pleskowicz from Poland. Everybody, of course, knows Michał Pleskowicz, former world champion. So Andre, he also competed last year, but only at the Russian qualifier. I don't think he actually made it to the main event, which was the day after. But he certainly made it this time, and he was very convincing in the previous round, where he did two solves back-to-back of 10 seconds. So if he can if he can duplicate this result, he has a good chance against Juliette, and he certainly needs his very best to beat Juliette, because she really is top-notch for one-handed. Yeah, getting ready, thumbs up, they're in the room, getting their scramble, and off they go. All right, so scramble up, inspection phase. This is a very important phase, so the more pieces that you can plan ahead to solve, of course, you have a bigger advantage. So they both started on white, which looked really a good choice. Wow, Andre is already at PLL. There you go.
Really quick.
He continues his 10-second streak from the previous round with another 10-second solve, which is really, really fast for one-handed. 55 turns there. His OLL was only 0.9 seconds. I wonder what that was. I couldn't really see it. He probably did it together with his last pair. I'll come back to you at the next battle for what those abbreviations stand for. So that means Andre is on match point, because this is only a best of 3. The speedcubing categories later on will be a best of 5, so you need 3 points to advance to the next round. So the room is clear. They will be getting into it quite soon.
So both guys, again, if you're new to this, both guys get sent the same scramble on their app that they have to then scramble their bricks accordingly to match the same scramble.
That's right. And if you are watching this and you want to tweet about this, you can use the hashtag Red Bull Rubik's. Make sure to use that. So, all right, they're in the rooms, scrambling up. So who's your money on, Tim?
Well, I was going to say my money. I don't know, mate. I'm not clever enough to work this one out, but the poll is saying that Juliette is predicted to take this one. So let's just see.
And off they go. Both started on white again. They can use the table for support in case you're asking. Of course, they're not able to use their other hand. And yeah, the poll was right. Juliette takes it, 1-all.
There you go, yeah, 11.1, 60 turns.
There you go.
So you were talking about
Good
OLL.
X
Just talk us, what does OLL mean?
So OLL stands for Orient Last Layer, or Orientation of Last Layer. So if you have solved the first 2 layers of your cube, you solve the last layer in 2 steps mostly.
Okay.
The first step is the OLL, where you have one algorithm. You need to learn 57 algorithms for that. You pick the correct one, and after that, all the colors of the top, in this case it was yellow because they started on white, they will all be facing up. But then for PLL, you still need to sort them out to put them in the correct position. So that's permutation of the last layer. So that's OLL and PLL, the most common 2 steps for solving the last layer of the cube.
Okay, final scramble then. Here we go.
Ooh, there looks to be some blocks here that you could utilize if you're good at block building. Off they go. Yeah, Juliet using table in a very good manner there. Started on blue while Andre solved on white again.
She's done it.
Yes, that secures her the final spot with, again, I mean, the last time of both of these battles was the slowest, which is not totally surprising because their nerves certainly play a role. Wow, this is a really interesting solution. So it was really advanced. So her cross was an X cross, which means she did the cross, well, your white cross, which you showed in your video, including one of the first F2L pairs. And then for the last layer, she actually knew how to solve it with only one algorithm.
Wow.
How many algorithms do you usually take to solve the last layer, Tim?
The last layer is 1, 2, 3? No, 9. I don't know.
9?
I really don't know. I think it's about 9. I'm not going to lie, when I'm doing the last layer, it feels like it's taking me 59,000 different permutations. There's a lot of love for Juliet in the chat. Remember, the chat is open. Let us know who your favourite cuber is. Who do you think is going to take the overall win? You've just seen Juliet Sebastian there from France. She's advancing through to the finals where she will meet Philippe Vaya. We're going to have the bronze medal match very shortly. That will be Andre Che against Bill Wang. So we've just got a slight pause in the proceedings whilst we make sure our cubers get reconnected to the server. We do have a few rules about that, but we'll fill you in later. I mean, if ever we cross that bridge, we'll get to there, but let's not worry about that just now. Eric, bronze medal match then, here we go.
Exciting.
So there we go. So Bill's best time,
All right.
4.79. Is that for a two-handed solve or a single-handed solve?
What was his best time? I missed it.
4.79.
Yeah, that's definitely two-handed. I mean, if he does that one-handed, that's a world record by 2 seconds there.
Yeah, I was going to say, I don't think that's the world record for one-handed. But you never know. Let's just see. Maybe a little bit of luck is on his side. So the scrambles are in. Little study of the cubes. And here we go. Strap yourselves in.
Bill looked to have a little pause there, but he's back on track. Andre is already finished though. Wow! 8 seconds with only one hand.
Oh,
that's even a good time for two hands. Wow.
That's incredible.
Let's see the stats.
Talk us through the stats then. What are we looking at here?
Yeah, so he had another special last layer algorithm. So he used a little bit longer OLL algorithm to be able to skip the PLL. But regardless, that's still a really fast time, besting my personal time for one hand with about 3 seconds. And he can really be happy with that. So if he can do another 8 or a 10 like he did in the previous round, he takes away the bronze.
There we go. Well, Bill's leading in the poll. You lot watching at home across the globe, you think that he's going to take it. Drop down to 55%, so he's only just in the lead. Okay.
Yeah, I think the polls really reflect on how well known both of these cubers are, but Andre is really not to be underestimated. I met him last year and he already did some really fast solves. I'm not really sure what happened during his Russian qualifier, but he certainly deserved to place his place here in the semifinals and now for the 3rd place battle. There they go. Andre looks to be really calm here. Always solving on white as well. He's at PLL. He's gonna take this one. Wow.
Wow. Really good. So there you go, your bronze medal winner, Andre Che.
Wow, congratulations to Andre. He goes home with $1,000 US. So that's gonna be nice.
I mean, you say that he goes home, he's actually already at home. So he'll probably just go into his kitchen and make himself a cup of tea and celebrate, knowing that he's just scooped $1,000, $1,000, and of course, and a bronze medal here. Well done. Right then, it's the big one. Got the gold medal match coming. Philip versus Juliet. Now, you know these guys. I know you know them very well. What does your head say and what does your heart say here, Eric?
So on paper, Juliet is the clear favorite because her official best times are much faster than Philip's. But then Philip has much experience in being in finals and performing under pressure. It's really a hard one. I would still put my money on Juliet, but either way, I think Andre's time will not be beaten in this round. It's a bold prediction, isn't it?
I don't know who I'm going to go for. I like them both equally, and I like Germany and France.
Maybe we should turn off the Discord audio.
I think Juliet's got this. Definitely think. Well, let's see what the chat's saying. Well, the chat is definitely in favour of Juliet. So a lot of French fans out there. Allez le bleu, tout le monde. So let's just see.
So Philip, of course, half of the Wire twins. You will see his brother Sebastian later. Philip is the one wearing glasses. And Philip was also the one who won the legendary battle last year against his brother during the half-finals of the World Cup, where they had the closest match possible, where he beat his own brother by 1/1000th of a second.
Wow.
Fun fact about Philip, even though he's really fast, he hasn't set any world records yet.
Oh. Still time.
Yeah, I guess if you specialize in the main event, it's the hardest task possible.
Yeah. So these guys just keeping their fingers warm while we wait for the organisation, the app, to get up to speed here.
Yeah, that's quite important. Always keep your fingers warm, stay in the rhythm, make sure that you don't get sweaty hands, or at least if you do get sweaty hands, that you adapt your turning to it. And for that, it's quite important to have both of the cubes that you use to be exactly the same. So a different cube certainly has a different feel, and you certainly need a short amount of time to get used to a new cube, just because it turns a little bit different. You would probably know that as well, Tim, because you've probably tried both of the digital cubes that we can use for the app.
Yeah.
Have you?
Well, we can just hear in that Juliet is, we're trying to get her connected to the app. Of course, this is all being done digitally, so all of the cubes are connected to their devices. Those devices are connected to our servers, and that's how we're controlling the whole game. That's how we're getting all the times in. That's how we're getting all the solves. That's how we're seeding this all out. But if any of the cubers, we touched briefly on the rules where we didn't. We tried to, and then the game started. But let's talk about the rules. Technically wise, it's the internet. We're all beholden to the slowest connection out there. What happens if the cuber can't connect?
Yeah, so for a few mistakes that could occur, or mistakes or errors or whatever, irregularities you would say, we have one free pass per round. So if she would connect within 3 minutes again, she actually is fine, and the battle, which has not even started, would have been redone. So if she would have disconnected during the battle, she would have one free pass for that. Also, if you would miss-scramble or something like that, you also have a free pass for this, because it's not really part of the solving procedure. However, if you would start too early, so we have a 15-second countdown, and if you would start earlier than when the timer hits 0, you actually lose the battle.
Oh, wow, okay. So it's like a false start in running, but you...
Yeah, exactly.
You just basically, you're out the race. You don't even get a warning on that one.
Yeah, I mean, that one is part of the game, and you really need to be able to react as good as you can on hitting the 0. So there's no room for error in that one.
So with this whole app, this new cube, this app that's out there now, how is it connecting the community? How has it been received? Cubers out there, setting times, and of course that leaderboard is out there every day for people to go on and battle. I think we might be ready to go here, so we'll hold that question for next time.
Alrighty.
But we'll see. So if you are just joining us, hello, good afternoon, good evening, good morning, wherever you might be in the world tuning in. This is, of course, the Red Bull Rubik's Cube World Cup Finals 2020. Tim Ward and Erik Akkersdijk here to take you through the proceedings, and you are watching the gold medal match for fastest hand. We've got Philipp Weyer versus Juliette Sebastian of France, and they are scrambling those cubes, getting them matched up, and here we go with the inspection.
Okay, let's see if there's anything good here. The white cross doesn't really look particularly good, which is the one that Philipp will use for sure. The myth that solving only in one color would be better has been debunked long ago, but he still sticks to it. Juliette starts on yellow. They're both at their last algorithm, but Philipp takes the win. Wow. So Juliette actually set it up to be a one-look last layer. She knew this ZBLL, which it is called. So they both were at their last algorithm. Philipp had an H-perm, if I'm not mistaken, which he did in 2.5 seconds, and taking the first win with 13 seconds. So far my prediction that the times of the previous battle will not be beaten have come true.
Well, it's funny you talked earlier about the pressure that these guys are under and how those times do reflect the pressure that the guys are under.
Yeah, that's definitely true, especially for one-handed. So the cube can really slip out of your hand, as happened with Felix earlier in the prelims. And if you have some sweaty hands, that can certainly play a factor in the whole battle. All right, off they go. White looked to be quite okay on this one. Juliette took orange instead. Philipp seems to be at last layer right now, but Juliette is already finished with her OLL. So she will take this one. Wow.
She won't be beaten.
12 seconds.
She will not be beaten. Salad Flamer has dropped in the chat. How can you be as good as Philipp but not be color neutral? It just blows my mind.
Yeah, that's a really good remark. Philipp really is one of the best people that only uses, or he is the best anyway, that uses only one color. And despite that he only uses one color, he actually manages to inspect the first two pairs of inspection sometimes, which is more impressive than if you would do this on color neutral crosses, because they just take less moves. So he has to track the pieces for more moves and still manages to inspect the first two of them on about half of his solves.
Well, here we go. Pressure cranked up to 10 right now. It is the final battle of these two, and the winner here will be crowned the champion.
I'm gonna put my money on Philipp.
I'll go Juliette then.
All right. Okay, let's see. Juliette started on white as well. Philipp seems to be ahead. Or actually, yeah, if he could skip his... Oh, well, whoa, what is happening?
I think that even surprised him there, if I'm honest. Ladies and gents, your winner, the champion here of the fastest hand at the Red Bull Rubik's Cube World Cup Finals, it is Philipp Weyer.
Wow, that was a really close battle. Juliette was certainly not far behind, and Philipp is quite surprised, I think, to have won that with a 13-second solve, which he knows is usually not good enough to beat Juliette, but it was good enough on this one. Congratulations, Philipp.
Yeah, that was really, really good. Really fast, just one-handed. Well, I think we're going to have a little bit of a ceremony coming up. I mean, you got to say that's gone as good as you'd expect, really. The fastest hand.
Yeah, certainly. I'm a little bit. I feel a little bit sad for Andre actually, because he had really the fastest solves overall, but yeah, he still dropped out too soon, I guess.
All right. Well, it's time for our virtual ceremony. Let's get them all digitally on the screen. And there we go. Oh, she doesn't look happy. Juliette in second place. Andre there in third, but your champion, your winner from Germany, it's Philipp Weyer. He's having a little smile to himself. Hey Philip, how are you, man? How are you feeling? Congratulations, you're the new fastest hand champion.
Yeah, thank you. I feel pretty good. Not the result I expected, but what I hoped for.
Well, there you go. You looked a little bit surprised. You put the cube down and it was like it hit you. I don't think you expected to win that, did you?
Yeah, no, not really. It wasn't a particularly good solve, but yeah, sometimes you just need luck, I guess.
Yeah, Philip, congratulations, Brudi. What was the last solve like? Because you both started on white and it didn't really look particularly good, but Juliet still chose white and it didn't really look to be that good. So can you maybe talk us through that?
I actually planned a really good cross. Yeah, I don't know, like I had everything planned out and then I messed it up when I started. And yeah, I don't know. It just didn't seem to me like I would win, but in the end everything worked out. I had a pretty good PLO in the end, so yeah, that was about it.
Mate. Well, Philip, congratulations. Look what's winging its way over to you in the post. Might have just broken the batteries out the bottom of this one, if I'm honest, so I will fix it before I send it you. But there you go. Huge congratulations, fastest hand champion, and it's very heavy. You might want to make sure you've got a nice sturdy shell for this to go on. In fact, it's really heavy. I'm going to put it down now.
I'll hold it with 2 hands.
Huge congratulations, Philip. Thanks again. Well done, dude.
Thank you.
Right then, I think we just crack straight on, shall we, into our next event. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the Re-scramble. Right then, the Re-scramble. Talk us through it, Eric. What happens here? What are we going to be witnessing?
So the players will get a cube, like a second cube that they can actually mix up with, or they can try to match the pattern in 2D, which is displayed in the app. We'll probably not have the first option in next season. So they will get the pattern on the app, and then 15 seconds of inspection again, and they will have to try to match this exact pattern, which is very prone to errors.
Now, like you said, this is different. This isn't a standard for the WCA. This is, it's kind of a bit unique to Red Bull, actually, isn't it?
Yeah, that's right. Most people would maybe know it as Match the Scramble. We actually renamed it to be Re-scramble. And we've been doing these game modes since the first time in Boston 2018. And we will actually start with our back-to-back defending champion, Ricky Myler, who has specialized since the very first minute that we announced this game mode. So I'm really excited if he could do a triple header here.
So what you're saying, getting a bit of cheeky practice in. Well, let's take a look at the brackets now. Let's get up the competitors and see what road they battled through to get to the semi-finals. You talk there about Ricky Myler. He's going to be facing up